How to collect 5 centimeter longitudinal and PDD profiles. So from our scan templates, we will select longitudinal J42, hit the plus. You see we'll have 5 depths, 15, 50, 100, 150, and 200 millimeters. The default is to scan over a range of plus and minus 100 millimeters. Now we'll move to the TDC. We are still in our TQA water tank longitudinal patient. What we will do is highlight the J42 procedure, prepare calibration, make sure that there is no patient on the couch because it is a QA procedure. We also only want to hit ready, do not hit setup as it will move the couch and potentially cause a collision in the bore. I'm going to turn our key to treat, start the beam, and after approximately 10 seconds or so, we will start collecting profiles in TEMS. So to start the profile, we'll then hit start scan. All of these water tank procedures are created as 1,000-second procedures. So a lot of times you can hit the longitudinal and the PD profiles for that field width during the same procedure. If you collect your profiles before the procedure completes or the beam completes, you can just turn the key or hit the yellow stop button on the status console. So our 5 centimeter longitudinal profile scan at depth 200 is about to complete. Once it's done, we'll move on to our PDD. So I'm going to quickly move up to our scan template, select PDD. It's the same technique for all field widths, so we will hit plus. We will scan from 0 to 19 millimeters in steps of 1, and then from 20 to 210 in steps of 10. You can change that if you'd prefer to go at different steps or different directions from the templates. We'll hit start. The screen will auto normalize or auto limit as you collect the data. 5 centimeter PDD profile has completed. We didn't get full depth. We were trying to scan down to 200, I think in 10 millimeters, and we got an error. You can still see we collected up to 200. So everything looks good. We would repeat these steps for the longitudinal and PDDs for the 1 centimeter and 2.5 centimeter beams. Once those are completed, we would move on to the asymmetric fields if we have dynamic jaws or tomo edge. So for that, what we will do is verify our setup at depth 15 and correct for any offset. The reason we do that is we have a slightly tighter positional tolerance for our asymmetric profiles as the profiles are off axis. So what we will do is go up to here. We will do our longitudinal setup scan. And we only want to run this scan at depth 15 because we are only taking asymmetric profile measurements at depth 15. So I am going to highlight the depth 200, right click and hit remove. So there's our single scan. We will move to the TDC and we will select in our TQA water tank longitudinal patient the 1 cm profile. We will hit ready because we do not want to move the couch. We'll turn the key to treat, start our radiation. Once this completes, we'll do a similar analysis as we did before when we measured our longitudinal profiles. So we will go up to processing, normalize, processing center. And remember, if we don't see anything, we want to make sure we are in the process data. Okay. To see what our centering was, we have to come down to our log. And down here we had a centering of negative 0.09. For our longitudinal asymmetric profiles, we want this to be within plus or minus 0.05. So what we will need to do is adjust our home position by the opposite of our shift here. So we will go to our home position. We will set the horizontal position to plus 0.09. Move the absolute distance. Set the new position as our home. And then I'm going to rerun the scan to verify that we are now within plus or minus 0.05. So we'll remove this and hit start. So our recheck of the centering has completed. So we'll move to process data, processing, normalize, and center. All right, so our normalized and centered setup scan now has a shift position of 0.00. So we are within our plus or minus 0.05 tolerance. What we'll do now is call up our first asymmetric scan. Today we will measure, we'll do the asymmetric, add plus. Notice we measure only at depth 15, and we will scan over a range of plus or minus 50 millimeters. So we'll go to our TDC, TQA water tank longitudinal procedure, and we will call up the first one here. So we'll do the J20 plus IEC profile. Notice we collect profiles for the J20, J14, and J7 on the plus and minus IEC-Y sides of the beam. Prepare calibration. Ready. So we'll start the beam. And again, after about 10 seconds, we'll start our scan. So our plus IEC-Y J20 profile is about to complete. You can see the profile is centered on the positive IEC-Y side of the isocenter. We would then repeat this for the negative J20 profile, in which case the profile would appear on the negative side. And then repeat the steps for the J14 and the J7 plus and minus IEC-Y profiles. Once done, we would move on to collecting transverse profiles.